What's up, guys? Welcome to the Quarantine. I'm your host, Wolf, and today I'm going to take a look at a small game called Dreamscape by Undyne Studios. Now, Dreamscape plays 1 to 4 players, plays in approximately 30 minutes, which I'd say is about accurate, and says it plays 10 plus, which I would say is a little high. Pretty much if you can have a little bit of reading comprehension, you should be alright to be able to play it. Now, the theme behind Dreamscape is scientists have created a machine that allow the user to turn their dreams into reality. So if I dream about having a dog, the machine will create said dog. But the different people in the in population, general public, there we go. The general public are varying skill levels, I guess, to be able to use the machine, because not everybody can use it. So the game is tests that are being run on you to see what your potential is to be able to use this machine. Basically, I guess you can call it a set collection / chain creation game, but it's pretty neat. So let's just dive right into the overview, shall we?
Alright, well, this is basically the game set up. I've only got 1 player set out, but it should still give you the basic idea. Now, as usual, I do have to state this is a review, it's not a tutorial, so I may miss a few rules, or I may, gloss over some, but it should still give you a general idea of whether or not this game is for you. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take the basic deck, and you're going to shuffle it up good, and you will put out 5 cards, and then starting closest to the Z deck, you will put the tokens 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Each player will then draw 1 card here. Now, I do have to state the game does come with an advanced deck over here that you will basically take out all of one symbol and replace it with all of another symbol, like maybe Empowered Dreams, and you'll take out Shifting Dreams. I'm not going to touch on how these work, but really these just change the way the game flows, but the overall game actually stays the same. But then, it also comes with a scoring table. It just reminds you how the scoring works, turn reference, what some of the cards do in single player, and, the visual dreaming for solo play at the end of the turn, how cleanup works, because it works a little different. But other than that, I'm just going to go ahead and toss these back in the box, because for the purpose of this review, I'm not going to use these. But again, just know the overall gameplay is exactly the same. These just do different things. So that way, if you want a varied game, I can't talk today. Another neat thing I'd like to point out is the box also has another scoring chart on it, which this will make more sense shortly. But anyways, what you're going to do is on your turn, after everything's set up and everybody has their 1Z card, you have what's called your deep sleep pile, your REM stack, and then this is the Dreamscape. So what you're going to do is on your turn, you may take the top card from the deck and you may put it here, face down. Again, you can look at it, doesn't really matter. But this is basically your currency. Now, you're able to use these cards to purchase these cards here. So what you'll do is, say I want to buy the one in the 1 cost. You'll take this, you'll put it sideways. You'll go ahead and take this card, and now you'll look at it, and if you notice, and the artwork is fantastic, by the way, but if you notice, this one here says rearrange the cards in the Dreamscape, or choose one opponent and discard a Z card. So you're going to take this, and you're going to put it in your stack, and it doesn't really matter which way it is, but you're going to put it in your stack, and we usually just whatever power you put on top, that way, just in case there's any confusion about, like, well, wait a minute, last turn you did this, they just got to look at the top. But it doesn't really matter. So let's say I'm going to do this. I'm going to rearrange the cards in the Dreamscape, because you have to choose one of these 2, and you must buy at least 1 card. So what I'm going to do here is I'll rearrange these and say I will go ahead and put this here. I'll put this here and maybe slide this over. Whatever. We'll just do that. And then because I still have 1 coin that's not tapped, or sorry, put sideways, I will go ahead and take it now, turn it sideways, and I'll go ahead and get this newly created card. So now I'm going to, again, put it in my stack, and then I'm going to choose which one of these 2. So let's say I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to choose one of my opponents to discard a Z card. So because this is the first turn, that might really hurt that person because they're only going to get one Z card because, you know, this one, the one they start with is destroyed. Then they're going to draw one and they only get one to work with now. So once you've bought all the cards that you either want to buy or can buy, all of these are then going to slide down, and then you're going to reveal more cards. And then that person's going to take their turn, and then each person's going to do the same thing. And then it comes back around to you, and you're going to do the same thing again. So I'm going to go ahead and take another one of these. So now I have 3. And then let's say I'm going to go ahead and buy a 1. Pick this up. No, sorry, I'll do a 2. And I'll pick this up first. So this says I can either pull a dream card from my rem stack and play it on top, because you're allowed to look through this, but you're never allowed to readjust the order. This, however, will. So I can go ahead and I'll take this, and I will. Why not? I'll go ahead and pull this one up top, because this one, of course, will be placed on top of it. And then you look through and go, I'll take this one and put it on top. Then you'll do this again. So I'm going to choose another opponent, discard another Z card. So boom, I'm going to make you eat your Z card. And then now I have 1 left. So I'm going to use it and I'm going to buy this. And the game is going to continue like that until, after each person can't do their do anymore, you're going to refill this. And if you have to refill the Dreamscape and there are no cards in this deck to refill, then you move to scoring. So let's say, hypothetically, these are all the cards that I've bought through the course of the game. That's a little much for a demonstration. So let's pull some of these back. What you're going to do is, once everybody's done all their things, you're going to take out your cards. Let's put a few more. You're going to fan out all your cards without changing their order. So now you're going to look for chains. And so we usually start from left to right. So you're going to go here, and do you have a chain? You have a two card chain. So even though, oh sorry, we have a 3 card. So we have a purple, and a purple. Because these are 3 cards in a row, that is a 3-point chain. So if you look at the side of the box here, 3-point chains give you 4 points. And then, so for example, let's say hypothetically, this was like this. We have a 3-point chain and a 2-point chain. So I would get a total of 4 points and 2 points. So these 3 cards alone would be total 6 points. But so you're going to do that here, and you're going to go, okay, so I got 3 chains, so that's 4 points, and then 2 chains, so that's 2 more points, so that's 6. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 is 6. So we're looking at, 12 points now. And then we have a 2-point chain here, so we have 14 points total. Now, any Z cards that you had at the end of the game, you deduct that. So if I had 4 Z cards, I had 14 cards, I now ended the game with 10 points. Each player is going to do that. Whoever has the most points wins. However, you also have a little, a little blurb here that explains how well you are to use the machine. It's somewhere in here. Yeah. The score analysis for the virtual dreaming. So in this case we got 10 points, so under 15 we got that the only thing you can create is stick figures with your dreams. The scientists are worried you either get too much deep sleep or not enough. Either way you have trouble creating chains. And so depending on how much you get a little story blurb. So that's pretty neat and kind of adds to the theme. So that's basically how you play Dreamscape. I don't think there's anything else really that you need to know about the game. It's just about manipulating the cards to try to get the most out of them. So usually 4 or 5 turns in, you're buying everything. You're able to buy everything in this stack by manipulating the cards. So that is how you play Dreamscape. Let's just dive straight into my final thoughts, shall we?
Alright, Dreamscape. I have to say right out of the gates, I really, really like Dreamscape. Way more than I thought that I would. From the little bit that I'd read about Dreamscape when I got a review for it, I figured I'd like it. It seemed like it'd be a light little, fun little game.
but I did not expect Dreamscape to be as good of a game as it actually is. Now, the art on it, as you see, is really nice. I really enjoy the art. This guy up here reminds me of, what's his name, from Foster's Imaginary Friends, or it's been years since I've seen it. Mac, I think his name is. For some reason, he reminds me of him. But anyways, I love the art style in it. The game is super light and really simple to teach. But the strategy involved, I mean, again, it's not heavy strategy, but there is a level of strategy involved, because now do you just try to make one giant chain and probably get screwed out of that? Or do you try to make one giant chain but also link smaller chains that come off of it, you know, keeping similar cards next to each other? And then this yellow card, where is it? The floating tree, it's the one that allows you to pull cards from earlier in your stack and put it up at the top, but you also have to keep in mind that the floating tree card is going to be on top, so you're going to either need to use its ability or its symbol or the symbol of the card below it. But then that next card is also going to have one, so you might be able to chain a ton of floating trees and pull all of them up front and be able to technically order them whatever you want and try to get new chains going. And then there's a bunch of the symbols. I didn't even explain how they work, because there's a whole bunch of them, and I'll let you figure those out by yourselves. But you'll have, like, lucid dreaming allows you to just take a card and set it off to the side, and you can buy it. Only you get to buy it later. So it's really cool. You're able to use that to kind of rob your opponents of cards. So overall, it's pretty cool. It's a really fun, really light little game. It has more strategy than you would think a fairly light game would have. However, it's not without its flaws. One flaw that we did have, which I guess you can call this a flaw, is after your turn, there's not a lot of reason to pay attention to the board at all if it's not physically your turn. What my friends would do is we would sit here and BS back and forth, and we'd talking and laughing about whatever while one person's sitting there doing their turn. And then it goes to the next person, and then we all continue talking. Now the new person just goes ahead and takes their turn, and so on and so forth. And the reason for that is, especially 3 to 4 to 5 turns in, when you can have upwards of 5 to 7 of the Z coins. Generally speaking, the entire board is going to be changing after every person's turn. So trying to look at the board and watch it and pre-plan isn't really a thing you can do, because where you're allowed to just keep buying, you don't get to, you'll look at the board and go, okay, this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this, and then this, and then this, and then this. That'll be awesome. I'll be able to get a good chain. And then you'll look away for a second, I'll look back, and the entire board is completely changed just due to the series of cards that came out. Now, I know I said that was a bad thing, and it's not really that bad of a thing. You know, it's a good little game to break out, and like my 9-year-old daughter could probably play it. She didn't really want to play it, but it's simple enough to where she would be able to. So the negative that I mentioned, it's not super big. It's not a super big deal, but it is something I feel I should mention. But other than that, it's a fantastic little game. I definitely recommend picking it up. It's Dreamscape. Alright, anyways, if you like and want to support the channel, give me a like, comment, subscribe. Also, check me out on Patreon, and I will see you guys next time in the quarantine.